Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Monday, November 4th. We are in the middle of a ranked draft throne of Eldrin. A ranked draft for Throne of Eldrin. We've lost once. We'd like to win 7 times. It doesn't seem like that's likely to happen. Our deck is crazy, but I don't know really what more to do to change it. Other than I could say, what I did is I picked the highest value cards using what seems to be a new feature, or I just didn't see it the first time I did a ranked draft, of being able to look at the value that it calculates for cards. So I just picked the best cards with little synergy would be, I think, the right way to phrase that. And it's mostly a deck where if you draw a second card, you benefit in some way. But there are definitely things you could have done and constructed that were not available to me otherwise. So like this strategy, putting this on the field turn 1, pretty helpful. Turn 2 though, all I can really do is put this just put out this character, or put out this character, which we'll start with putting out this. We've got a Planeswalker, who is probably one of the most valuable cards we had. If they deal a if they summon a flying creature, that would work. Let's see. So that would kill me. So I'm already in trouble. So adventure, tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap phase. Or summon it, which summoning is, I think, what I need to have happen. Alright, next. Oh wait, actually, yes, do tap that. Darn it. I played poorly there. Played poorly. I should have tapped that to give this haste during my main phase 1, and I didn't, so I gave it haste in the main phase 2, which doesn't help because that's after the attack phase. And now I've got nothing to defend me against this guy who's just gonna constantly get buffed up. Like, this might be game over before it's even anything has been done. Alright. Put any number of creatures from your graveyard on top of... I guess submit 0 is the right move there. And that was straight up a draw. And this would give, I think, a +2, +1. So, no, it's a +1, +6. Next, attack. Yeah, playing this card sucks. Playing any of these cards where it's just a tap ability sucks so bad, because you want to go into auto pass, but if you go into auto pass, since I don't fully understand what that means, I end up passing the wrong thing. The interface is clunky. It requires an expert level of understanding of the phases and the systems. Hearthstone really never had this problem. And I guess we will talk about BlizzCon at some point. In general, my breakdown of it is BlizzCon happened. There was a lot of expected there was a lot of to be expected protesting, which I would argue some of the side panel presenters really didn't care about the protesting and may have even been behind it. Alright, so do I want to swap to something else and give it a +1? Let's see. No, I just want to stay there. Let's see. I was wrong. I got my information wrong, and I never really corrected myself. The main panel always had a submit your questions, and they'll be picked out of the question box set up. The rest of the side panels always had like 10 minutes to ask people in the audience, and that's where the "is this an out of season April Fool's Day joke" from last year came from. So nothing had changed. They really hadn't tried to censor it. But yeah, they announced Diablo 4 just as a distraction, but then they said it's not even on Diablo time coming anytime soon, on Blizzard time coming anytime soon, which means they've done zero work for it. They hired an artist to draw some images, and that's pretty much it. This was just to, I imagine it was worked on at least for the most part to make people forget about Diablo Immortal, which was not put in any high presence at all. And then they also have released a auto chess game using Hearthstone's interface. I don't think that there's any other way to really describe it than that. It really is just a Me Too style of game clone of auto chess. And Disguised Toast was playing it, and I kind of question why he would bother. But whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's a way I'm gonna win here. Let's see. Whenever this deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during the controller's next untap thing. So I can block with this and tap it for 2 turns. But if I don't find something that saves me, I have no idea. Yeah, they started with a non-apology, which the problem with the apology that the CEO of Blizzard put out is that he's like, we're sorry that that you were upset. It was like, we're not sorry for what we did, we're not sorry for what we're actively doing, since they're actively banning the presenters and Blitzchung. They could rescind that ban at any point, but until they do, you're actively still punishing them. You're making an argument that nobody's buying whatsoever, that it didn't have anything to do with China. You're blaming NetEase for the Chinese Weibo post. Yeah, you're saying. Let's see. Oh, we might as well do this just to irritate him. Overall, the apology spoke of zero details of any real act of contrition, any real intention to change your behavior. If you even ignore all of the Hong Kong drama with Activision Blizzard, there's plenty of other drama to consider here. The fact that they are losing quality employees left and right. The fact that Activision owns them and Activision is garbage in itself. The fact that they're moving, like, it's a little offensive that they're moving Overwatch to Overwatch 2 even. Why is that a different, why do you need to put a 2 behind it? Why not version 2.0? Like, it was a live service game. It's I felt the same way about like Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 from an outsider's perspective. I didn't play any of those games, but it doesn't feel like you need to change the number when you've probably not changed much else. Diablo 3 drama from when Diablo 3 came out is something you could also mention. There's just been drama and trouble for a very, very long time with Blizzard. Blizzard hasn't been the creator of good games for over, I would say, at least a decade now. So when you look at it from that perspective, if Diablo 3 was a bit of a disappointment, what makes you really believe Diablo 4 would be any better? Like, what makes you think there's any chance of that? Alright, so I choose block. Can I then trigger my ability and sacrifice my health? Because I'd really like that to happen. So I sacrifice my guy and gain some health. He buffs this guy up to like a 8/8. And then this guy can't attack. That did save me. That was a cool move for a second there. But we have to just hope this Planeswalker has some form of ability.
Got a good head on those shoulders. For now.
Destroy target creature, draw the card. Two black and green wolves. That would save me one more turn.
You cannot run or hide.
So, I can't believe I actually survived that. But yeah, I see no reason just because they released a new expansion to Hearthstone that I don't care about. In fact, I'm gonna probably pretty quickly just stop following them on YouTube. I'll probably keep following them on Twitter just to see when the next Scylla expansion is, because I think I probably have enough gold on my main accounts to, like, I think there's probably enough there to justify purchasing the next expansion and using up that gold. Right. So do we want to... Let's get rid of this guy, I guess. And I don't think I have any white mana. I think I got rid of all of that. Oops. So this card's probably not playable. So I need to remove that. Right. Destroy target creature and draw a card.
Let's see how sharp my axe is.
You know what I needed to do was probably use the 0 mana ability, come to think of it. Yeah, I think I've lost. I could have stretched this out a little bit longer, but probably not one, in fairness. We are doing well with mana, although the variety of mana is still a problem. So, might be something that needs to be adjusted here. Maybe I have a little too much. Yeah, I guess I don't even have the tab open in the right place. Yeah, I guess we could start covering the news now since I'm talking about BlizzCon. So let me just go through my Twitter feed real quick and open up that. Open up any new news so we're caught up. Resolve all of this. Oh wait, is this a flying thing now? Can I cast this? Do I have enough to... Darn it. Oh man. I need 1 green and I don't have 1 green. If I did, I could do it. So because I don't, I've lost. That would have been crazy if I turned that around. That would have been totally crazy. I wish I was winning. I wish I was going up in the ranks, but that's really not going to happen, is it? Alright, so let's come over here and figure out what. White, blue, white, white, blue. So we're either going to have to put whites back in, or we're going to have to get rid of them, because these cards now are lacking. It's like I have too many black cards for the things I would play that would be black. So like 1, 2, 3. We'll stick with 4 of those for the Witch's Cottage, which is pointless. I probably don't have enough mountains, and almost certainly not enough islands. Actually, we'll balance this out a little bit more. And, or I bring something back in. So it's a high level creature. Do we want to get rid of the black creatures? And then we could get rid of all of this and then bring in all the whites. Probably, yeah. Let's switch this around, get rid of all the things that would require a black. Actually, that would only really require. Do we have the Roderick banner? Yeah. We could play this if we made this black always. And then we could bring in this and this and what else? Like, I think we kind of just need everything back in here. And then what that is going to do is we need planes. Let's see. So we'll start putting in some more planes. 3, 4, 5, and then we'll take out some of these. That leaves us at 61. We probably could go shorter on green. Actually, we don't really have that many green things. So, yeah. So, major change there. 40 card deck play. I have a 60 card deck. So, how many cards do I really have? Like, we need to check that out. If I'm building a deck that has more cards, why is it not saying you can't do that? Why is it just randomly picking 40 cards and removing 20 with no idea whatsoever of what the, like, that would be crazy. If you aren't able to cast a spell without paying its mana cost as an X in its mana cost? Really? What's on Steam is actually working today. So I think probably the Halloween sale is over. That probably affected Steam's performance in general. Right. Yeah, we can keep this. I don't see a reason why we can't. And it seems like you're so much guaranteed that you will always keep land. At least on the first turn you can play land without any fear. Alright. So for Tencent, this is probably the worst point to have this news come out, but improbable Tencent Cloud partnership brings games to China. So improbable being a company and Tencent Cloud being a subdivision of Tencent. I'd have to think though, what is improbable most known for? I can't can't think of what Improbable made, if they've made anything of importance. So, yeah. The bad timing, but I imagine there won't be any good timing anytime soon for any company that's out of China to say that they're partnering with a company in China, even though it's Chinese law. And nobody's really disputing that. That's straight up the law in China, is you have to partner with a Chinese company, and thus that Chinese company will work closely to steal your intellectual property and take profit off of your work while doing very little. Imagine if the USA put the same law into place that every foreign country's company, Mercedes-Benz and such, although maybe Mercedes-Benz is owned by an American company now, but if we said every foreign company had to work with a American company, it might not be a bad idea. I mean, the funny thing is, when you have these kind of escalations, the right solution sometimes turns out to be just doing the same thing that the other person is doing, a tit-for-tat response. Let's see. So yeah, it probably wouldn't be a terrible thought, but people would hate it, certainly. You would see a lot of foreign companies not doing business in the United States, and a lot of products not being available. Moving on, speaking of manipulating markets, there was a report that Amazon is cracking down on third-party sales of Nintendo products. I imagine this is this seems to be due to Nintendo, push by Nintendo. Although, also you could suspect that maybe this is just due to the fact of a high amount of returns, because there are fake Nintendo products out there, clones, rip-offs, things like that. That might be the cause or the issue also. I'm gonna attack with both of these. If I was going to buy a Nintendo product that would be a modern Nintendo product, I would almost certainly want it directly from Amazon and not potentially some used seller. Almost everything I buy from Amazon is not from a third-party seller, because there's just a rampant amount of terrible knockoff garbage products that the third-party sellers are selling. And if I was going to buy an old Nintendo product like an NES or Super NES, probably wouldn't be buying it from Amazon anyways. I would probably want to just roll the dice on eBay if I was going to do something like that. Which, yeah. I don't know what else you could really say here. Exile target creature the opponent controls with a converted mana cost of 3 or less until it leaves the battlefield. Darn it. There goes my guy. And he's gonna buff up this character every time this guy attacks, so I can't really attack anymore. Alright. Counter target spell, the controller puts the top 3 cards in the libraries into the graveyard. I have enough to equip this here, so I might as well. So now we've got a 3-5 with no attacks. Next we have a TechRaptor article here. Diablo 4 won't have an offline mode at all. So even if you wanted to play Diablo 4 and you were impressed by these graphics, which are designed just to do an E3 style tease, you really can play it solo. So it's at its core not the game that you remember if you remember Diablo 1 or Diablo 2. Like, it's just not there. So yeah, it is more Diablo 3. This has to be an online service game. This has to be a thing that can constantly make the money, even though I'm fairly certain it didn't ever, Diablo 3 never really succeeded as being something that made the money, or made them a lot of money. If anything, you're in a good position right now to just go play Children of Morta, or any other roguelike style games, but I think Children of Morta in particular feels a lot like what a Diablo 1 or Diablo 2 would be. The only thing the video game world doesn't have right now and should get is somebody should just straight up do a game that is in the same demon fighting storyline as Diablo, and Activision Blizzard could try and sell, they could try and sue somebody for doing that, but they almost certainly would not win. Because yeah, that's just not something that's gonna happen. If you're just saying this is based on Christian mythology or Dante's Inferno or something else like that hasn't been, like Dante's Inferno would be particularly a fine way to just say we're making a Diablo-esque game using the mythology of Dante's Inferno, and you could almost certainly make a better game than what Diablo 3 and what probably Diablo 4 is going to be. So we lost 3 times, and we get 50 gems and a pack for our complete inability to win. I think we did better the first time, frankly, but we're now bronze tier 4, and that'll probably be the only draft we do. And
This curse, this thrumming, I need them gone. Gone!
So we didn't have that Planeswalker. I know it wouldn't have given us that card if we didn't have it. So let's go in our collection and let's do an evaluation here. Go into crafting mode, filter to just Throne of Eldraine, because that's the cards we have, and then not collected. That's what we want to see. Okay. So we still have a decent amount of cards that we haven't collected, and these do look like cards that I did not see in the draft, but really not that many. There's 12 cards here per color, or am I doing something different? No, it really looks like I only am missing 12 cards. So would one more draft sometime in the next couple of weeks potentially help? I don't know. I don't know about that though. I don't know if that would be the right move. Yeah, that's not a lot. And then if we were to switch the filter here from collected to not collected, let's just see where we are as far as how many cards do we have for of everything. Is there a way to actually filter that way? I assume this would be the mana cost, not the number of copies you have. So, is there no search here? Like, can you just not type a word? Yeah, that was the one thing I guess that Hearthstone had that was better than this, is it's not really just a way to type a word. So if you were gonna look for a specific card, you would have some hassle there. Yeah, of what we do have, we actually don't have that many cards either. And yeah, we're missing a lot of duplicates of those cards. Meanwhile, I do have a few things here. So if there were some lands in particular, let's just lands not collected, Throne of Eldraine, and Magic Core Set 2020. Let's see where we would be with that. I could craft more of these. Scry, 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 and scry. And these probably are still the best bets, but I only have one of those. So I think it would probably be better just to sit on what I sit on the wild cards, because I don't know if I really need any of these to scry more. Although, maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's see. Let's take a look here. If we were just to look specifically at what we've not collected in Core 2020, because that's the real question, is do we really need to go down the path of getting these core cards, or do we just wait? Like, I have none of these cards, but I swear I have several of these cards in Throne of Eldraine versions. So there's weirdness here that Magic does that Hearthstone never got into, that kind of BS, where there's different variants of different cards. So yeah, we're kind of missing some of these cards, sure, but I don't know if it's worth it to try and get these cards opening packs, because you don't really get a lot of packs. Alright, the other thing we have here is this sign up, which that was a glitch. I've ran into another glitch, by the way, too. We need to do this because sign up ends. So I'm gonna see what we can build. Out for Blood 1.1. Alright. So we'd have to build a new deck for this. Which, honestly, I don't think it really helps too much to spend too much time on this. So, wish there was a way to start with something. Oh, here is a search. Why did I not see that before? Um, yeah, there's too much work. Frankly, just too much work. Let's see. And I think I've determined I like playing black more than anything else. Let's see. Just overclick a bunch of things. Let's see. I'm just trying to quickly build a deck, because I really don't even care. Like, you're paying me $250 just to get skins, and that's kind of it. Yeah, I swear I didn't have these Forever Young cards before, but I don't have enough time in one stream to build 2 decks. So this really should have been something I saved for Wednesday, but Wednesday I want to build a different deck. There's like no synergy around this at all. Like this is just so dumb. Let's just hit this. Like, we get rid of this, get rid of this. Like, so this new deck 2 works, but how about instead we just do Out for Blood? Actually, let's just go to decks first of all. Out for Blood, clone. New deck 2, delete. And we have like a new deck 1 here that I think we could probably delete too without any real concerns. Out for Blood here. Alright. So then we go back here. We go back here. We take this. We start with this. Edit this out. Then we can't use this. We can't use this. This. Ooh, this was a nice card to have. Can't use that. Can't use that. And can't use that. Alright. So, then what we want to do is find out if we've got any black special cards that we have any interest in playing, which I think would all be at the end here anyways. Let's see. Take that. We already got 4 of those. Take that, that, and that for more health. Those must be all new. And I don't think we need to do anything else than that. Alright. Put 2 more of those in the field. Put one more of that. And we'll just change our deck to have more cards of what we already had. Like seriously, do I have a way to craft another one of these? Let's do that right now. Can we craft a bunch of these? We can craft one. There's a baked into the pie. Take a couple of those. Can we craft another one of these? Great. I am heavily favoring the black deck right now, obviously. Spending all my wild cards, creating these cards that I don't really want to. Doesn't really balance to the other color decks. Alright, so now we're at 64, and what would we want to do? Let's see. Do we have anything that is multicolored? Anything? No. So 1, 2, 3 for more Witcher's Cottage. Get rid of that. And that puts us exactly at 60. Okay, Out for Blood with those alterations now is playable. Let's see. We got some games coming out for Xbox One. A game called Yaga, Smash Clover, and haven't heard of it. Yeah, I keep bouncing back and forth whether I should bother covering things that are coming out specifically for the Xbox platform. Probably not, but I keep seeing it. Maybe I need to take the hint and stop following Major Nelson. That might be part of the problem. Next game we have on Steam here is called Way of the Boy, which seems like it is a Russian troll game if I was to guess. It looks terrible. English not supported, $1.99, Russian only. That, of course, not making it to the follow list. The thing here is winning, I think, in this style of gameplay really only just means you spend less time. I don't think it means anything else. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say no attacks, although there's kind of no reason not to have attacked there. I should have attacked with this. Next we have a game on Steam called Mars Power Industries Deluxe, which looks like it's a puzzle game where you're putting different connectors. It's almost like the game Pipes, although smaller and more simplified. Yeah, it really is just the game Pipes, isn't it? $2.69, bunch of languages, says it has full audio, 7 achievements, nothing of interest there. Alright. This, and then this. Here. Like, kind of obvious I should have attacked last turn. It would have buffed one of the characters. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Occultist Command. Almost looks like a Super NES style Metroid game. It's really dark in some of the backgrounds and the color palette. And there's a lot of flashiness going on here. Yeah, I don't know if there's a game here or not. It's $9.99. It's English and Spanish Latin America. I'll put it on the follow list, I guess, and I'll have to get some more feedback from some other players. It might be something. There's a decent chance it's not anything, though. Alright. Play that. And go ahead and destroy that. And go ahead and play that. And then attack. I don't feel like this was mentioned during BlizzCon, or it wasn't made a big deal of it. World of Warcraft is adding diversity appearance options for players, which, okay, like, I guess that was said. More ethnicities, tattoos, and mores. It's really not changing much to World of Warcraft. It's just like, hey, we've made some more new skins for these characters that probably should have had skins from day one. But I guess World of Warcraft could make the argument that there's such an old property that wouldn't have been feasible. I don't know if that really flies. Because I feel like there were definitely some Windows 95 RPGs where you had different skins of different ethnicities of characters. Probably wasn't the most diverse, and oftentimes it might have just been a light elf versus a dark elf, which is effectively all they're doing now. It's weird that you would integrate any of that, though. Like, too? Why bring in potential ethnic conflict in your fantasy world more than already existed with, like, the green and the gray orcs, stuff like that. So yeah, I get a cosmetic, and I assume I'm getting the cards if I don't have the cards. I'm making a big assumption there. Otherwise, there's just a ever-increasing collection of cosmetics that I have that I can't use, and that would suck. But honestly, if Magic the Gathering Arena keeps me from realizing that for a while, I probably wouldn't care too much either. Until I started doing the numbers and realizing that I spent like 2,500 gold on something useless to me. This is probably a good deck starting hand to mulligan. And we'll keep that. This is probably not a card you should have in your deck. Next we have an article here from Gamatsu. Sony Interactive Entertainment Global second-party games head Gio Corsi has left PlayStation. I'm taking some time off, but I'll be back in games soon enough. That's code for I've already found another job, or I'm looking for another job. So second-party games, the person in charge of getting second-party games leaving means, like, the PlayStation 5, I can't see how you wouldn't be, at the very least, extremely concerned about what the PlayStation 5's initial lineup would be. Because it is looking potentially like it's going to be worse and worse by the day. There's nobody in charge of getting third-party games or second-party games, or whatever they are calling it. Second-party games, I guess, would be games that Sony is funding, but aren't fully funding, maybe, or fully creating. I imagine Death Stranding was a second-party game, and so it kind of makes sense that you would leave after Death Stranding came out. There's no real news I've heard about Death Stranding other than some people love it, some people hate it. It seems like there is also some wide diversity in how much time some reviewers played on it versus others. Some people have spent like 300 hours, some people have spent 30 or less. So it seems like there might be elements to that game that are more hidden than your average game. But yeah, I think it is going to kind of boil down to, yeah, it exists, and for PlayStation players, some people will play it. When it comes to PC, some people will play it then. But I imagine the main problem is that Death Stranding should have never been hyped at all. If it was, hey, this is a secret project Kojima's been working on and nobody's seen or heard anything about it so far, it would have gotten a much different reception than the trailer after trailer after tease after tease after tease that we experienced. So people were overhyped for the game, clearly, and when it turned out not to be anything close to what people thought it was going to be, which I don't even know what people thought it was going to be, they were dissatisfied. Next we have a game on Steam here called Shooting Star. It's just Flappy Bird. That's all it is. Just a Flappy Bird clone for 59 cents, discounted. I did curate some of the games, but the more recent ones we're covering right now I didn't curate, obviously. Do I want to block that? No, just let them do 1 damage. Just let the people continuously right. Do this. Then I want to attack with this. And he can block one or the other if he chooses. Actually, should have attacked with this too. Why didn't I not? Man, I keep screwing up, making some very, very basic mistakes. Still very new to this game. Probably made a lot of basic mistakes even when I was playing Hearthstone though. And it just wasn't so obvious, or I wasn't paying enough attention. Like I know I screwed up every now and then, but I kind of suspect I may have made more mistakes than I thought I did. Let's see. Black. And play this. And yeah, attack with this. Gamer Sutra has an article. Unity has acquired the 3D application streaming platform creator Obvious. Never heard of them. It lets users outsource any tasks their current device is unable to handle. Interesting. Well, Unity being more of a multi-platform type product, I could see the desire to have it work on lower powered cell phones in particular more. Well, we can get rid of that and at least stop buying into his strategy. Of course, this defense has kind of nothing, so can't really do anything there. TechRaptor has an article, new Diablo Immortal details released at BlizzCon. So yeah, release date still missing in action. But yeah, they're still working on it. Remember, they also announced that they had like five other mobile games in development. And honestly, if this is what Diablo Immortal looks like, this doesn't look terrible. In a weird way, had they announced just Diablo Immortal is releasing alongside Diablo 4, which is what they should have done, so don't worry, PC gamers, that's still happening. We're not forgetting you. That would have been an acceptable turn of events, in my opinion. I think it was the fact that they mentioned nothing about Diablo 4, and let's be honest, they really didn't mention anything about Diablo 4 this year either. They just kind of pretended like they did. It's like, I can't do anything. I might as well just attack with everything and let it happen. This was the one that was supposed to buff up, and I did not ever accomplish that. Meanwhile, I'm getting completely defeated by this pure white deck, which might say something. Certainly playing a pure color deck is not the best way to go about things. Like, I probably would, if I had the cards, I probably would be able to beat a pure white deck if I just played a black-white deck. Just statistically speaking, regardless of what specific cards you even play. Let's see. Is this something we would want? Sure. The thing about this deck in particular is you want to get 3 regular swamps on the field before you play any of these, so that you can buff these up. That's not really likely to happen, so instead you just play it anyways. Gamma Sutra has an article. SingStar's servers are slated for January 2020 shutdown. Say that 3 times fast. So yet another singing game has reached its end of life. Well, probably is fine to attack here, because if it defended against that, that'd be really silly. This next game is tagged nudity, so let me make sure that these screenshots are YouTube friendly. Yeah, they seem fine. So next we have a game on Steam called Single Diary Fresh Graduate, which English language is not supported. It's tagged as an RPG, but it looks to me like it's just a dating simulator game. Not really so much a role-playing game in the general sense of what you would expect an RPG to be. $6.29 with just Chinese. The animation's not terrible though. Like, can't call this really a cheap Chinese product, just a Chinese product. So let's do that. That's probably the right move. And then let's do no attacks right now. And having 3 destroy target minions, I suppose does mean I could just wreak havoc on him. Let's see. guess I should just attack here. Well, we should just risk it. If he's gonna do that, that's fine. Check out there as a review here. Deliver us the moon review. Let's see what they gave it. It looks like this is a space adventure game. Is it a walking simulator? Question mark. You give it an 8.0. Deliver us the moon redeems the troubled early access launch of this 3D adventure game, providing an experience that feels like playing a movie without sacrificing gameplay. Pros: compelling story, beautiful graphics, engaging action sections and puzzles. Cons: relative short length, puzzle solutions occasionally obscure. Okay, that sounds like a interesting game. What else do we say about it though? Let's go ahead and kill that. And then all attack. What does this do? Deal 1 damage to each opponent and gain 1 life. So he's gonna just constantly do that. Alright, well. He can try and do that all he wants. But he wasn't expecting me to have 3 destroy creatures in my deck. Trying to find if there's a link to it, but there isn't. Alright, but it is on Steam, so I'll look up Deliver Us to the Moon. Deliver Us the Moon. If I can get the name right. Let's do this. Black. And then we play that. And then attack. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called The Delirium Vacation, which looks like it's a trippy, surreal asset flip game. Doesn't look visually polished enough to be interesting, though. It looks like it is really just a bunch of garbage put together. Discounted to $7.19, English full audio. Yeah. Not enough there to interest me. Let's see. Baked my guy into a pie, that sucks. So let's do no attacks this turn. And then the turn. So, moon. Moon. Deliver us the moon. No attacks. In return. See, he's healing back up, and I don't have any card that would destroy this enchantment. Get one more swamp. That's all I want is one more swamp. With a 4/4. No, not yet. Not yet. So here's Deliver Us the Moon on Steam, and yet does look interesting enough. It's rated very positively, and it's already on my wish list somehow, so good. Alright. My wish list being kind of a prime example of not really knowing what's on it. Or I don't even really know what's on it. Alright, well. At this point, we can't wait any longer, so we'll just play that. And we'll attack with this one. And we'll attack with this one, and this one. We'll just attack with everything. I think I win here, if I'm careful enough. Still think I might win here. See, I've noticed this about Magic in particular, is that some of this you really would have to do the math, and I'm not sure I'd really want to do the math on a lot of this. So you're just willing to then potentially screw up and lose. And do I want to go another recording? Yeah, let's go one more game for this recording. Let's see, is this even gonna load the images? Well, we've got a game on Steam here called Miami Rampage, and none of the images are loading. It looks like it's a low effort asset flip game, if I was to guess. 74 cents English. If the images are not loading, I suspect that might mean that this is in the process of being removed from the servers completely, as it's been disallowed on Steam, which you don't have a lot of those that you see. Usually I would say everything is just left on Steam, even if it shouldn't be. Next we have a game on Steam called I Will Eat You, which I assume means you're playing as a bear chasing after these other kind of asset. I would still call this an asset flip game, honestly. It looks like it's got a lot of detail, but it does feel very much like, yeah, this is not a video. This is not playing like a video. Either one of these are. $4.99, bunch of languages, 15 achievements. Yeah. Is this multiplayer only? Yes, it is. Yeah, so it seems like some people can play as animals. Yeah, well, I don't play multiplayer games, but in particular I don't think that one looks very interesting anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, because then we can play that. Next we have a game on Steam called Vector, which looks like it's an Outrun clone using vector graphics, and doesn't look particularly interesting. It's free, so I guess the price is right. English only. So next we have what could only be declared the epitome of a low effort game. Your low effort troll game. We have on Steam Super Lolita Puzzle Simulator 2019, with slide puzzles that are incredibly small, and then the rest of the screen taking up what is effectively just a background image. 74 cents for 7 different puzzles. English only. Says it has full audio. Probably not an accurate description there. Why that was allowed on Steam? I don't know. I mean, it has Lolicon in the name. It has Simulator in the name. It has Super in the name. That should be 3 things to at least slightly flag it. Although Super, I could imagine not scanning for games that have Super in the name, but the last time anything had Super in its name legitimately was a Super NES game, I'm fairly certain. So how did that get passed by? Oh well, whatever, however that happened. Gamasutra has a video here, addiction scientist and advice for devs on promoting healthy play. Which, honestly, I think game devs probably should take some notes and listen to addiction science, real addiction science, and promoting healthy gameplay times. Unfortunately, I think the management above them would take the exact opposite notes and say, okay, what can we do to make them super addicted to playing our game so that they play forever? Because that's very much what they've been doing at this point. Is they are hiring experts in particular to tell them how to make the games more addictive. The whole daily login on card games like this, where you have to play 15 games to get all the rewards, that's a pretty insane amount of gameplay to have to play on a daily basis every day, and yet that's what they're promoting. And there's no penalty, really. There's no disincentivization to say, hey, don't spend that much of your life playing this game. And I would argue Magic probably has been encouraging people to play Magic non-stop from like day one, even when it was just a paper game. And they've not really done anything to promote realistic things. Nintendo has been the only company that's done even a little bit of effort to promote healthy gameplay time amounts. And then there's some weirdness about calling certain amounts healthy too, because when I think about it, there's totally a lot more hours in the day that I have as a YouTuber and a video game critic to play games than what a kid in middle school or high school has, particularly since schools have gotten so terrible about handing homework to people for no good reason. Like, some of it I understand is repetitive learning. Like, I get that. Like, it's reinforcing the basics and things like that. But some of it also feels like it is just straight up a punishment, punitive attempt to waste people's time. And so, yeah. I wouldn't be particularly upset if I was a parent of a kid in school that if they didn't do their homework, I'd be like, yeah, forget that. Let's go do something more fun than that. Let's go play video games. I would be the bad parent, almost certainly. I'd be like, yeah, forget your homework. Let's go play video games. I'll write you a note. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Imbroglio, which looks to me like it's a box pushing game with some elements of like Catherine. Now, I can't immediately hate a box pushing game. There haven't been a ton of great ones. So if somebody could put a decent story around it, or just a decent visual aesthetic around it, I'd be alright with playing a box pushing game for about 5 hours, maybe even 10 hours, and then I'd have my fill. This is $5.09, that's probably a little too expensive, even discounted. is English, Russian, and German, so you'd have to see that too. 7 diverse worlds, 7 main mechanics, over 40 puzzles. It's a little low, but not that low, so I'll put it on the follow list and we'll see what happens. So, Borderlands 3, which I figure I'll mention this, has, I believe, put out their first shift code specifically for Borderlands 3 that's not a VIP code. Gives out creepy Vault Hunter heads, and they expire at midnight Pacific time tonight. What's I think most interesting about that is that they are now moving over to shift codes, or at least in this case they moved over to a shift code instead of making that a VIP code, because I think almost everybody, if not everybody, who would be playing Borderlands 3 right now still would have had to, well, I guess you wouldn't have had to pre-order it, so maybe you wouldn't be in the VIP club, or maybe they've recognized that people don't want to have 2 separate accounts for the same Borderlands game, in the sense that you needed some form of account, a Steam account or something, to put in the shift codes. Well, you didn't really need it, but if you were going to put in the shift codes via the website, you would need a Steam account connected to it, to the website, which is how I'm now doing it, because it's not worth the effort to have the Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1 and Borderlands the pre-sequel all installed. This doesn't untap. That's what it says. Okay. So if this guy doesn't ever untap, I probably don't have anything to untap him. Next we have a game on Steam called Monster Battles Portals, which the idea of a Pokemon-esque game maybe has some interest, although this looks like more of a collectible card game. Let's watch the video and see if we can get a better idea. Looks like a mobile game where you're just going through level versus level versus level for something here that does feel like it is kind of heavily stealing from Pokemon. It's free to play. It has in-app purchases. It has 5 user reviews, and 2 of which are in English, it seems. 42 achievements. Because it's Russian, Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, and English, I suspect this is a Russian troll game more than anything else. It's not doing anything different or interesting enough to justify justify its existence and justify playing it. There we go. So yeah, I'm not going to put that on the follow list. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam here with a bunch of Asian characters, and Soltia looks like it's a Minecraft clone. Yep. That's pretty much all it seems like it is a Minecraft clone with more anime, although very stretched out characters. English not supported. $6.79 early access, Chinese only. So it's a Chinese ripoff of Minecraft, and you can see they've specifically are comparing it to the number of blocks and bricks that Minecraft has. So I guess all attack. They're dying quickly here. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam here called The Room Syndrome. It looks like it's a dark screenshot syndrome style, black and white, almost ASCII. I guess it's maybe an ARPG or maybe it's an escape to room game. I can't even really tell. It's free, but even at that I wouldn't want to play it. English only, full audio, 7 achievements. Yeah, it's probably in the ASCII escape to room if I was to guess, but yeah, who can tell? Every single time. Every single time he seems to be destroying one of my characters. Yeah, here we go. Can't block that. Well, then we'll block that. Play this. Play this. And then attack with that. And I lost. Okay. So this is probably a good article that we could end this recording on. We need 2 more wins to get these last 2 skins, these last 2 cosmetics. We've got another pack here. And we get a wild card for just opening a pack, right? The opening packs earns you these wild cards. Opening packs earns you winning these. But the number of pips on this seems to take more. 3 more packs until your next rare wild card. 21 more packs until your next mythic ones. 6 more packs until your next uncommon wild card. But you also get wild cards here, so you really have a kind of dearth of wild cards if you just open packs. So I imagine if you weren't free to playing it and you just bought 60 packs, you would have so many wild cards to fill in any gaps. You would be happy, but 60 packs might also be $200 to $400. So here we go, TechRaptor's article here. Blizzard announces new expansion, Auto Battler mode for Hearthstone. So the new expansion is Descent of Dragons, who cares, frankly. And then a beta for Hearthstone Battlegrounds is coming this month. Battlegrounds takes a bunch of the side characters that have been solo characters like AFK and lets you play as them and have different abilities. You're playing in a very different way, much closer to auto chess than actual Hearthstone where there's strategy. So it's like an 8-player experience, but you kind of go into a tavern brawl. You pick one of these 23 characters, you go into a tavern brawl, you have a different kind of currency to buy and play characters. The characters do damage. If they survive after doing this, what seems to be randomized damage, then it calculates some hero damage you'll do, and you cycle through the other 8 players, or you randomly go through each of the other 8 players. Both launched December 10th, but the beta for Battlegrounds starting on November 12th. But I can't see why you wouldn't want to just play Auto Chess, honestly, or the Valve Auto Chess. I mean, it really doesn't make any sense at all to stick with Hearthstone and stick with Blizzard when you could really do anything else. And there, I just muted Hearthstone on Twitter. I think that's perfectly fine. If there's not even going to be a single player expansion coming out until December, I'll get that news some other way. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.